officially started. I'm going to start recording. So first, thank you for being here. It's great to have you all here. I'm going to be sharing my screen because I think it can be quite easier when you can visualize. Let me actually do something different so I can see you while I'm making the presentation. Uh, okay, I guess that will work. I want to make sure that you have the visual as well, because sometimes people are more visual than words, but I want you to give me insight. So if you feel like it's not making much sense, or if it's just too fast, just let me know and we can slow down and reorganize, especially those of you who have your camera on, because I can see you while doing the presentation. So your faces help me a lot. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ignore the chat for the next 40 minutes, 40 minutes in a way, but feel free to type your questions because you can help each other. And when I'm done, I'm gonna come back and say like, now let me know your questions, and then you can post or either copy and paste or let me know your questions by the end. But I want to try to do that, this one a little bit faster than usual, so I'm not going to read the messages just yet. So what is the intention for today's webinar? Today is about how to improve your interview skills with some strategies, because that just knowing this strategy to express yourself will for sure help you to get your job abroad. Why am I the person who is actually talking here with you today? I'm a career advisor. I moved to Canada about 5 years, almost six ago, and I've been struggling a lot with looking for a job. So I started researching and studying and getting more information here and there about everything. And I came up with the idea of learning and creating different ways and different kind of rules to ensure that we can express ourselves better, especially when you have a different culture. And this might be sound a little crazy, but it's not, trust me. Sometimes it's just a matter of how you express exactly what you were about to say, but with a different structure. And then I start to work with VanHack, where I'm responsible for best practices, onboarding, anything that it can help you out on your few first months within VanHack. If you have any bugs or any challenging situations with English verification or code challenge, we do not provide feedback for English or code, but there are cases where you can just ask for help. Let's say you were started your English verification and then your neighbor's dog start to bark all the time. So you can message me and I can reset before that month. But overall, you have 1 month to retake your English test every single month, and within 30 days you can take it again. The code challenge is 3 months, so you can every 3 months retake your challenge. So that's the reason we want to make sure that we are being fair with everyone. So let's say you got into a very uncontrollable situation, and you let me know, I might be able to reopen for you for sure. But if you just say, oh, actually I had to work, we are telling all the instructions there. Code, you have 24 hours. You are going to be able to retake every 3 months. We express how important it is. We know that it's not even mandatory. So if you don't have a reliable answer of why you want to retake before the 3 months, this is going to be a no for sure. But we understand that life happens, and if it's a special case, we will allow that. I also can help sometimes with mock interviews, profile review, networking, but those are more towards the Premium Academy, which is the VanHack side, where it's like a school where we help you to increase your skills for the job search itself. It doesn't connect 100% with the recruiting side, because you don't have to be a premium member to be eligible to be recruited. But by studying, by having English classes, by learning more and more about how to behave in a more calm way, strategic way during interview and on your profile, you will naturally increase your chances to get hired. So a lot of people fear interviews, English, code, any sort of assessment that you are being evaluated. But let's realize, how does VanHack recruiting team makes money? By finding the right candidate to the right company. We don't charge the candidate, we charge the company. So why would we create those rules to make something bad on your behalf? We want to be fair, not bad, but fair. If you take the time and you did the code, we're going to be fair and help you out with more percentage on the grade. If you complete your English, you're showing how committed you are. We know your English, so you'll be allowed to start applying. If you're attending webinars, you're gaining knowledge, therefore you're going to be able to apply for jobs and have a higher chances of getting hired. But we are here to help you out. So even if the answer sounds like, I hear that a lot, especially for English, for code challenge. I don't understand why my grade was 50%. And I want a review. Of course, I would love to give reviews for everyone to give feedback, but it's impossible. Can you imagine 4,000 every month? It's a lot of people. So what we do is we allow you to retake. But let's say you came up and you had a very bad bug. That's completely different. It's not on your control, it's not on my control, it's something that can happen. Those situations we are going to reopen. So what I'm saying is you don't have to fear. If you have to fear, fear outside of VanHack, where you don't have the support, the strategy, that you don't know about visa. But we are here to make your life easier. We are here to help you with visa when you get the job. We are here to help you out with relocation when you have to move. We are here to help you with your English. And we are also here to help you with coding when possible. But this is still what? A competition. We need to be able to compare. Although we have, don't know if I'm not hungry, if I'm not wrong, maybe 100 to 150 positions right now. Maybe we're not competing among each other because right now you are taking the step as extra. So you are making this extra effort that will allow you to get different options. But what about the other 4,000 people that joined in February that are not here today? Today we have 26. So my point is, I don't believe you are competing among each other today, but you are competing a lot with a lot of people that are in the background. So do your best. Know that we're here to help, but make sure that you are putting the effort to get to where you want to go. It's not easy. You may apply for one position and get the job. You may apply for 500 and not get the job. It's still a competition. But today we're going to talk about interviews and the relation with the code, the English verification. So I divided into three blocks, and I'm going to give you a strategies for each block. The first block is tell me about yourself. How would you describe yourself? What makes you unique? What are you passionate about? So that is about who you are as a person. You bring the professional side to it because you are passionate about what you do. You enjoy your job. If you don't, maybe it might not not work very well, but if you do, that's where you mix your personality, your hobbies, your career, your future expectations for your career, so on and so forth. The second block, can you tell me about a stressful work situation? Discuss a technical challenge you have faced. What is your greatest accomplishment? Those are the work related questions, but they are not about um, being the working at the best company in the world or having the most insane challenge. It's about how you dealt with the situation. So if you was stressed, try to think about a specific situation where you were stressful, why, what happened, and we are going to talk more about how to divide those blocks. But this is about something you already experienced and that you can share to show who you are. Why should we hire you? What are your future goals? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? right? It's very straightforward. Where do you want to go? What is the direction you are going to be pointing to for the future? Where you can go, what you can try in the future. So those are pretty much all the English verification questions. Tell me about yourself, discuss the technical challenge, and why should we hire you in a way. We are going to get there in a very specific way so you can understand how this one can get related to our last question in the English verification, which is tell me 3 questions you would ask in an interview. I'm going to tell you how you can relate that in the interview. So let's start with strategies. The first block, tell me about yourself. What is my recommendation for you? It's not a strategy about only what you are saying, what are your words, but body language as well. And now it can be pretty awkward to consider body language on a video. So let's start by the top 5 skills and then let's get to what body language means. Tailor your answer to the role. Even if you are a senior developer, but you're applying for a junior developer, adjust your answers to a junior level. Adjust to challenges that you faced when you were junior. Don't bring like managerial challenges because in that position, you're not going to be a manager. So make sure to relate your for the position you're doing. When we're talking English verification, do for your dream job. If you want to be a CEO, answer considering that you apply for CEO or CTO. Inject some passion. What you are passionate about. Is it a specific language? It is the logic behind coding? Is it the customer experience? Is it leading, mentoring team members? Or it can just be something like me. I love helping people who went through the same challenge I did. It can be something like that. Keep it positive. I know it can be very straightforward and it almost sounds like obvious, but it's not. What I'm trying to say is that, for example, I changed my career. I could say, I used to be a petroleum engineer and now I'm a career advisor. The truth be told, in Brazil, if you are a career advisor, you will starve because you don't earn enough money. But that's negative. Although it brought me to a positive outcome, it is negative. So I mix a little bit. I'd say the same thing, saying in Canada, I know I can afford my rent, I can have quality of life with any profession. So I decide to do my passion, which is helping people, instead of focusing in the oil industry, focusing in immigrants, because I know how hard it can be. So you give the same answer, but in a positive tone. Succinct in a way that I give enough information so they can understand why I did the career change. But at the same way, I didn't spend like a 5 minutes just talking about Brazilian and Canadian cultural differences. But you can have an idea because a lot of people understand that some countries you have to worry about security. So earning money means that you will be safe to have a car, that will be safe for you to walk around. But when you describe that I don't have to worry about safety, they can understand whatever they want. In this case, it's great. In the next group, you're gonna need to give more details. But for this one, for tell me about yourself, be succinct. Practice, but do not memorize. What I always recommend is write in bullet points so you can make the connections as you go. Will be more natural. So for example, my bullet point would be petroleum engineer, career advisor, Brazil, Canada, 5 to 6 years in Canada. So I can put it together as it goes, as I feel. If I'm nervous, I'm going to shake a little bit, so I'm going to maybe ignore something. I'm going to work more in another direction, but I know exactly what is my intention to say on those questions, especially for an interview. But for our first visual video for the English verification, pay attention on your body languages. 2 reasons. One, because this is going to be your first impression with VanHack. Second, your first impression with the companies. On your profile, you can allow to make it public, your videos. And by making it public, companies can see. It's not public to every, how can I say, every candidate, but it's public to every company that hires through VanHack. So that can be your short resume too. And when you are doing an interview or you are recording a video that it will represent you or will be your first impression with people who are looking to hire you, you want to be professional. I'm not saying tie or suit or anything. I'm saying represent you. Renato, please don't be mad, but I'm going to use you as an example. I love Renato's background because he has the skateboard, he has books, he has a lot of information there. I can see that Emmanuel also has some pictures. So that it's a way that you can give your personality a point where in the future in an interview, let's say the hiring manager also likes to skate. It's something that they will mention because this is most of our companies, the companies that work with VanHack, they are looking for more than just the perfect coder or the perfect candidate. They're looking for the right person in terms of personality. So when you bring things like that, it's great. But on top of that, dress in a way that represents you, not so formal, but not like shirtless. Avoid hats. But if you really are into hats and you want to make a point out of it, let's say you actually designed the drawing from your hat, make sure to put light. It's not about having the hat, it's about not being able to see your face. So if you want to do something crazy, go for it, but keep in mind that you are indirectly making eye contact, indirectly making showing the company your knowledge about them. And you have to smile because first impression is all about smiling. In the posture, avoid trying to do like this. You don't have to be like very straight, but regular. But something that I really think it's important nowadays is the position of the camera. If you record like this is just like bad posture. If you are like distorted or like super close, it can be distortion as well. So bad posture right now for me, it's more about the camera than actually how you behave, how you act, how you make movements. So those are things that you have to think about: sound and lighting for both interviews and your English verification. The dress code is, like I said, if you are very into superheroes, why not a shirt with a superhero? If you are formal because you have been applying for only fintech companies, you want to do a suit, do a suit. No one will judge. Just make sure that it aligns with your future goals. Quality of your voice and grammar are great, but we already test that every time we have a mock interview or on your English test. So what I can say for interviews is increase your confidence, boost your confidence. There are many ways to do that. For example, for me, it's standing. So I actually got a standing desk so I can do webinars standing because I feel more confident that way. If it was in person, I would use heels. Heels is the way that I feel more confident when I'm talking in the public environment. Or you can do the power pose like the TED Talk. You can remind yourself of an experience that you overcame a big challenge, so you can get that feeling of going above and beyond and being capable to face challenge and overcome any challenge. So think about how you can increase your confidence before any interaction, and choose the words in a smart way. I'm not saying that you have to be formal and say and skip don't to do not. I'm not saying that you cannot make fun or make jokes. Honestly, in my introduction, sometimes I say that I'm a huge Disney fan and I make analogy to Finding Nemo, but avoid bad words. Avoid, please. Like we have a few English assessments that people said like shit or motherfucker, and those are like not a language that you want people to have in a first impression. So it's just to have common sense. I guess that's the word. Use your words in thinking about common sense. Remember that in Canada especially, but pretty much all over the world, You don't know what is the culture of the person who is interviewing you. So let's say I'm going to interview you. I have my Canadian culture now because I've been here for some time, but most of my assumptions are Brazilian. I lived there for like 25 years. I've been in Canada for 5 now. So I still have the assumptions of a Brazilian. If you if I'm being interviewed for a Canadian or someone from Asia, they have completely different opinions. Even the way I move my hands can be bad perceived. Another point, if you people from Persia, then they normally don't look through the eye because they feel that this would be not being respectful. But in Canada, you do. So you have to balance. Other thing that it's pretty cool that I learned, you when you cross your arms in Brazil, US, and some of the American continent countries, this is a sound of you being closed to receiving information or not open for listening. But if you do that in a Persian country, in a Middle East country, this is a sign of respect. It means that I'm really paying attention of what you're saying. So the same goes with words. If you say something that can be perceived as in a bad way, and just because of the person's culture, it might be a thumbs down for you. So keep that in mind. Let's go to the second strategy. So how can we discuss a technical challenge, talk about accomplishment, talk about stressful situations? It's a lot connected with all the examples that I just gave you, but we are going to create a structure. Remember that I told about bullet points. Think about a bullet point or a couple bullet points to describe the situation, to describe the event, to describe the project, to describe the challenge you faced, to describe how it happens until you got the task. The task that could be something that you are proud of, the task that it can be something that you are stressed out, the task can be something that you overcame as a challenge. What is the specific responsibility that you had in that situation? Actions, what were the steps that you took to solve that situation, solve the challenge, minimize the stress, or to deal with that situation? And then the result. This is called STAR strategy. Some people call CAR and they combine situation and task. Some people call PAR and they combine situation and task with problems or context. But action and result is key. Sometimes the result is exactly the description of the task, so you can skip. But a lot of people forget about action. Action is the most important piece. Why? Because the situation can be a situation within the company, the task can be a team task, but the actions are what was your part inside the task, inside the situation that led to the result. So very simple to make sure that you got the idea. Let's assume that I'm on an interview and I want to say that for me, one of the most stressful situation was to be here today giving this webinar. What is the situation? The event was a webinar to talk about interview, to give strategies about how to improve your chances to get your job abroad. The task was the webinar itself. The actions was creating an image to promote on our website, create a Google Calendar so everyone can have access, creating a Zoom link where I can share in advance so everybody's prepared, um, plan the PowerPoint presentation, message, create the survey on Zoom. It can be readjusting routinely to make sure that this presentation is accurate, um, so on and so forth. There are so many actions. It can be very tiny, like creating an image. It can be very big, like actually being here today, hosting for right now 29 people or more, or above 20 participants right now. So on that case, that can also be my result. So how can I construct as an interview questions? Please tell me what is this very stressful situation and how you dealt with it. One of the most stressful situations is my monthly webinar about how to increase your chances to get your job abroad through interview strategies. My task was to host a webinar, and I chose to do that every month on the second Tuesday of the month. So it would be easier for people to plan around if they want to take it again, or if they missed for any reason and they want to do on a live session in another month. I also created this image that wasn't attracting a lot of participants, and I readjust within time, and now I feel like represents the brand very well. I also always try to make sure to send an email at least 24 hours before the event and set up a Google Calendar so people can be reminded through Google as well. And I do that every time a day before of the event because I let the inscriptions up to 24 hours before the event start. The result is I have an average of 30 people joining the webinar every month, and I hope that I can increase with time because I know we have a lot more potential. I love the handshake. Thank you. That helps me to make sense. Yeah, that's how you. It's not about being. Oh my God, this is really stressful. No, I do that every month. It's getting less stressful every time. Actually, I don't even have to create a PowerPoint presentation every month because I'm doing it regularly. But this can give the person an idea about how I work. Why do I do 24 hours? How do I organize? Why do I choose monthly? They get to know me and they can think about, okay, maybe Fernanda can also give another webinar for us that it's something completely different because they know the logic behind what I do. So this is kind of an example, but you can do with anything. I actually thought I added another slide to this point, but I didn't. So I'm going to try to remember all the explanation. But another technical situation could be a bug you have fixed. This is actually a situation because before the bug, you had to implement something. So what was the change you did? Why that bug came out? What happened? What was the task? Was the task the bug itself, fixing the bug, finding the bug, reaching out for support from a different team? What else can be? What were the actions? It can be asking for help. So as you can see, they can change according to your need. The action can be ask for help. It can be routinely researching for bugs, looking for new language to make it more efficient. It can be you actually creating the code. It can be you going on GitHub and searching for better solutions. And the result can be a specific percentage of successful rate, happier clients, less bugs by week, by month, by year. You maybe save the company time, money. So I guess that can give you an idea about how you can use this strategy in your situation. So let's go for the third block, and then we're gonna come to the questions. And actually the third box breaks out in two. So why should we hire you? What are your future goals? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? So ask yourself, what are the most important qualifications for this position from the company point of view? So research the company. Oh, Fernanda, but when I apply on VanHack channel, I do not see the company. You are right. But if you are selected, you will know the company, you will have the recruiter supporting you. We are gonna be giving you mock interviews so you can practice even better. So think about this part as your second step. After you have your profile, after you got selected for a position, study the company. There are some companies that you're going to be able to see many, many times. So you can do in advance. We actually host webinars with them frequently. So skip the dishes, Thinkific, a lot of fintechs. You can get to study on a frequent with some sort of frequency about those companies. Make what makes you the right candidate for that job? I like to use the word different because if you say I can code React, pretty much all the selected candidates can code React. So what you do different in React or in your mind or on your verbal communication, that can be only you. And what is the most impressive accomplishment that you want to share? So for example, I'm gonna go let's assume that, okay, let's use me. Let's talk about my application for VanHack. What do I know about the company? What I know about the company is that it's a hiring uh, company as well as a teaching institution. So you have VanHack Recruiting and you have VanHack Academy. I love both sides. So for me, I can mention that I'm interested in both. What else do I know? I know that the owner lived in Brazil for more than 10 years. Maybe that's something that I can bring up. I know that there are, I don't know, 17 countries among the team workers. So we have, I don't know, people in 17 different countries and over, I guess, 7 different nationalities. So for example, because I'm in Canada, I'm still Brazilian. So I'm in a different country, but I'm still Brazilian. So it's a completely different point to note. So I can use as, oh, interesting, you hire people abroad. It's not about their nationality or being or having English as the first language. It's about getting to know the business. Okay, interesting. So that's something that I can bring it up. What do I do that differentiates me from a lot of people? I'm very silly. I make jokes about Disney. When everything goes wrong, I make a joke and I make everything worse. Like, I'm silly. I make bad jokes. I try to translate Brazilian jokes to English and it gets horrible and people don't get. And then I try to explain and it makes less sense. It's just, but that's me. And the reason why I do that is because that's my way to make it easier for people to understand what is important. So when I make a joke about saying like, um, honestly, when I go to a very stressful situation, I follow Dory's from Finding Nemo's philosophy of life. I just keep swimming. I don't know what to do. I just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And then that silliness, people can relate to that because a lot of people are afraid of saying like, I don't know what to do. But if I bring some positivity with using Nemo, it's a way to show that that's the way I do. It might not be the way that you want the successful candidate to be, but if you choose me, you are getting me, you're buying whatever you think you are. I'm not lying to you and not pretending anything. This is who I am. And what are my most impressive accomplishments? I can say that it was moving to Canada and experiencing the difficult of being an immigrant. I can say that um, I can say that I read pretty much all Disney books, videos. I love Pixar. I love Pixar because I think that they understand that you don't have exactly right or wrong. You have tentatives to get it better. So I can bring more formality to my jokes by being honest about it and saying, I love watching TV when I'm stressed because I know that when I see a Pixar documentary, they say that they do and redo and do it again and do it again, all those videos before they get to Nemo. That's what inspires me, and I get more flexible with myself, knowing that getting a bad feedback doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad result in the end. It's just a matter of readjustment. I can say that as a petroleum engineer, I was the only female in the industry. So I feel very confident talking about female immigrants because most of the times I was the only one in a meeting with 17, 20 men. And I know what it means to work in a patriarchal industry, in a country, and being mocked by being silly and still being silly as myself. So I can get a lot of answers. And why should I hire you? It's about past and future. So I can actually say you can hire me because my goal is in within 5 years revise above 500 resumes. I already did 2 and I hope to do more. So you can bring numbers to it as well. Find the middle point about all of those. Immigration combines with myself and knowing the job. Disney, I can combine as myself and knowing the job. And right for VanHack, it doesn't connect with knowing the company, but knowing the team, because I made a very big research about the team before I went for the interview on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. So I could tell that they were very friendly, so it made sense. And then that can get in the middle, and then you can choose how to answer your question. And with that reflection, you will have time to realize what are the questions you want to ask in an interview. So when they ran all throughout the interview and they ask you, do you have any questions for me? What do you want to know about our company? Always have a question. Always. Even if you had questions throughout the way, finish with something simple as what are the next steps, but always have a question. Show the commitment, show you did your homework. Some of the examples can be, can you show me examples of the project I would be working? What gets you, hiring manager, most excited about the company future? Can you tell me about the team I will be working with? What do the most successful new hires do in their first month here? Is there anything else that I can provide you with that would be helpful? So those are examples, and that's exactly what we ask on the third question for the English verification. What are the questions you would ask to the hiring manager? And we also have an ebook on our resources, and you can have more examples if you want to. Coming back to English, tell me about yourself. Got it. Discuss a technical challenge. Got it. Tell us 3 questions you would ask in an interview. Great. You have 30 seconds to 2 minutes to answer that. You can retake every month. If you got advanced or fluent, if you got advanced or native fluent, you don't have to worry because you have exactly the same chances. But if you had advanced, basic, then try it again. I'm not saying try every month because you can be frustrating, but study English and try it again. Study English and try it again. So why not? Why just, oh, I wasn't well, I didn't do well, I'm going to just give it up. A lot of people got positions with intermediate as well. So the only thing is that if you get intermediate and basic, target your profile and do the best you can on your profile, because that's another way for you to reach out to people and have more experience and show your abilities in a different way. And keep trying English. And try code as well. Although it's not mandatory, it can increase your chances. Recruiters and companies will be able to see only if you allow it. So make sure to go on your profile. I want to show before I open 2 questions. So I'm gonna log in on my free account so you can see how it's to, okay, he did not. Oh no, it did. On my free account, as you can see, become premium. This is not the paid version. You can come to your profile right here. You can see English verification results here. You can retake clicking here or clicking at the top. Code, the same idea, but right here, make my intro videos public. Come and click here. And when I say about having a very strong profile, think about the experience section. Think about how you can improve the way you write. And this is a STAR strategy. Look, provide career workshop, facilitation, and coaching. Would that be exactly the same STAR example for the webinar? It would, but in a very weak way. So how do I do that in a strong way? Conduct webinars about candidate onboarding processes, engaging and helping the candidate to complete all the necessary steps to succeed in VanHack selection process. This is a generic one. Let's say I want to bring numbers. facilitated over 30 workshops in the past year with several different career topics, such as resilience on the job, search for newcomers, cultural differences, ATS, networking, and many more. So that's how I came up with those answers. Thinking about STAR strategy helps a lot because you break down into situation. What is the situation? Why is webinar important? What is the task? The webinar itself. Some actions, different topics, how many people, how many times a year, and the result that can be mixed up with task actions. But we can say that after I started this webinar, we actually got more female hirings. We got more people being hired that attended the webinar. We increased the number of English verification from 35 to 40% of the candidates that joined. So you have a lot of information here. I will now go for questions. So let me open the chat here. And if you do have questions, share with me so I can answer it all. Okay. I agree with you. For IELTS, you need to know the test structure very well. You can speak a perfect English, but if you still don't know the test, you might take median score. You are completely right. I have a friend that is Canadian, but he was applying for a US, no, the other way around. He's American. He was applying for a university in Canada. He had to do IELTS. He didn't score well because it's not about knowing English. It's about how you answer. CELPIP, it's a little bit more friendly. So he did well on CELPIP because it's a Canadian one. So it's only Canadian people interacting, but it's still, you have to be fast. So you have to practice tests no matter what. Sometimes it's harder to find problem bug than correct it. That's a very good point. You don't have to fix. When we are talking about STAR, it might be that you found it and that you redirect it, or that as a team you solve it, or there are so many different ways you can phrase that. We can say that let's use COVID. Okay, COVID is a nice one. The situation is pandemic. We were working in the office. Now everybody is working from home and they're using VPN, and it's slowing down everyone's work. So that's the situation. So the task is slowing down the time. What were the actions that you took? Did you bought a new machine? Did you research about better VPNs? Did you recommend it to have different areas with the information? Did you suggest to change it even from Outlook to Gmail because Gmail is faster? It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as you describe what happened, what was what is exactly what you changed, how you changed it, and why was that important, which can be combined here. You don't have to do in this order as well. You can just go for, I'm very proud for hosting more than 10 webinars last year for free, where I was able to help immigrants to overcome COVID situations by having live webinars on Instagram, by writing daily posts on how to improve your resume, and also doing some volunteer works, helping a nonprofit to get a career advisor support. So you can change it. Yeah, take it again. 30 days from the day you took the test, you can retake it. How many people are usually hired by the month? I love this question. Can you believe that I've made this research yesterday? I have it here. Just give me a second because I don't remember. I think it's 17. Yeah, 17. So I made an average from 2019, 20, and 21. So those last few months, and I got 17. But remember that last year Insane, right? So normally it would be even more, but I guess 17 is good, is a good number. Um, and out of 150 positions, just to give you an idea, let's actually see how many positions we have open right now. Um, Find a job. So right now, 166 positions available, and that can put it up or put it down. Once my English verification is done, is it possible to see the videos I submitted somewhere in the platform? You cannot. I found a candidate that found a way to code his way into the system and see the first one, but I guess we already fixed that. So the answer hopefully still is you cannot. But you can retake. If you feel like you want to take it again, you can go ahead and take it again. The higher grade will always be the selected one. So if you want to take it again, go for it. If by any chance the system goes wrong and lower your score, just let me know. I will put the new one up. Okay. Can you explore more about how not to memorize the script on the English test? I struggle myself with speaking to the camera, even though I know the right way to speak and I'm trying to remember what I wrote from the recording. Okay, that's a good one. So what I do, I'm gonna be honest. So what I do, stop sharing. What I do is here. Don't judge my writing skills in the computer, please. So what I do is I start with S, T, E, R, and then I come with all those ideas, just random, just brainstorming. Doesn't really matter what is. And then I think about the position. So job post. In the English verification, think about your dream job. What are the connections that you can make? There are more connections than one. There are none. What are the connections you can make here? Kind of those I rewrite in bullet points. And then when I'm going for the interview or English verification, interview or English verification, I choose which ones I'm gonna bring it here, and I put in a post-it note, and I stamp just below the camera. That's not memorizing. That's having support on remembering. So when I'm looking to the camera, you cannot see that I'm looking to the paper below. That's what I do. I do bullet points because if I put a lot of words, I get nervous and then I cannot actually answer it. So that's the way I do. I did not do that on my English verification. And actually, because I can see now the results and the feedback that I got from the supplier, he said that I tried to memorize because I was super mechanical. So even if you do have the bullet points, give some like gestures, intonations. I guess that can be helpful. Do all the companies normally only have jobs that are remote and then relocation? Right now, yes. Right now, I guess all the jobs are starting remotely and then relocating. That was not true in the past. We used to have events that you would wait maybe 2 months to start because they would want you to relocate. And now we also have only remote. So if you don't want to move abroad, you can apply for only remote jobs. But most of them are waiting because the visas are taking forever and they want to have you as soon as possible. They cannot wait. Complex. There are jobs at the process of your visa and let you relocate before start. Remove the rest. Complex on certain countries. Yeah, it's mostly about visa, so it changes within time. Is there any cloud architecture roles available or those jobs opens are only related to developers? Let's see. What happens is, I'm gonna just add cloud. Let me stop sharing this one so you can see the whole thing again. Here. So if you wanna know just remote, you can click here. You can see my screen, right? The VanHack. Cool. So let's do cloud and see. For cloud engineer, back-end developer, software developer. So I guess not even cloud engineer, it's the same idea, is it? Okay. So the thing is, we have above 200, 200 companies that hire through VanHack. We don't know what they want. We don't know when they want. And when they come for us, it's because they're in a very, very hard time. They need urgently. So it might happen that tomorrow we can have 5. It might happen that for a full month we have none. What we notice is that most companies, they look for developers. So that's why it gives you the impression of having only developers. But for example, a few months ago, we had even UX, which is very, very rare. Yeah, it's probably just as an skill, UX, UI skill, and not even the position. But we never know. They don't give us a heads up. And something very important that I'm gonna tell you is log into our Slack channel. Can you see my Slack? No? Okay, let's share the whole screen. Okay. Make sure to join our Slack channel and keep your eyes open on job notification. I'm using on my premium account, but in the free account, you have exactly the same channel. And then you can come here and you can see, Alina is a recruiter. She posts a position today of a full stack developer in less than 3 hours. I'm gonna apply. If you apply within 48 hours, your chances are very, very big on getting the position. If you apply with even less, like if you apply in 2 hours, 1 hour, 1 minute of the post, this is increase drastically your chance. I'm going to explain you why. VanHack has a contract with the company. Let's call this company A. Company A emailed Alina saying, we need a full stack developer. And Alina said, okay, I'm going to post the position. Within 48 hours, Alina had to send a couple profiles. So she's going to choose from the ones that are better written, that have English, that people applied because it's easier, and she's going to do her own research. But if you do it faster, you're going to show it at the top. And then she's going to select, I'm going to assume 5. It depends on how many positions for the same role. It might be the case that they are hiring for two positions. So she might choose more people. It might be the case that just one. We don't know what is happening, but she's going to select a couple profiles and she's going to send. And then we lose control of time because the company can reply within 6 hours saying, I need more people. I didn't like any of the profiles you sent me. And then she's going to have to send more. Or the company can take a full week to look at profiles and say, I didn't like any profiles. Can you send me more? Or I like just one, but I don't want to interview just one candidate. Send me more. Or can take 3 months. And then actually the hiring partner from the company A was fired and Alina reached it out and they don't have it and they haven't hired anyone yet. So the position is still there, but she's having no movement. So it's very rare for us to give you a timeline on our positions because it changes according to the company, according to the demand, and according to the role. What I can tell you is that every time you see a position that it's related to you, you apply with less than 48 hours, you have a higher chance. I guess that's the big point. And on our platform, you have the new tag, which is 7 days. So every time a position is posted within less than 7 days, it has the new tag. So that's another way to see. but I like to take my chances with 48 hours. So that's the best one. Um, nice digital painting skills. Thank you. Uh, I want to join the like channel, but it seems that I need a VanHack email. A lot of people are having this challenge. I honestly don't understand what it is. This is not true. You should be able just to click here and would redirect you. So what a few people had success doing was choosing a different email, and it worked. Yeah, a lot. Another people. Yeah, just try with a different email. Maybe it's the case that something happened, or Slack just don't recognize your email. Try a Gmail account. I think that's the strongest advice I can give you because it's the one that I use. If the problem consists, let me know. Email me at fernanda@vanhack.com. When you get a virtual interview with a recruiter, does that mean your resume is already reviewed by the company too? Is the recruiter themselves filtering the candidates? Cool. We filter the candidates, we send to the companies, but having a call with the recruiter can mean very different things. It might be that your resume sounds like the right candidate, but the recruiter wants to double check. Can be because you never spoke with anyone from VanHack and then they want to get to know you. It can be that you have a skill that it's like amazing, that we always are looking for candidates with that skill, and they want to move, take a step extra and interview you even before having the position to make things even faster. And there are many cases, and it can be the mock interview. So we can, when you get an interview, we book a mock interview so we can help you on tailoring your answers. You should behave as it was an interview, but you're gonna have feedback by the end from our team. We have that for technical interview and a behavior interview, like HR interview. Before, if you want the profile review, I guess that's a good point to bring. This is part of our Premium Academy. So if you want to ask someone to review your profile, even not having anything, you can ask in the academy. I'm gonna just leave here the prices so you can see. So monthly subscription, quarterly, and semi-annual, and you can see what are the differences. Before you to apply, it's a good idea to know a little bit more about the company. That won't be possible. As you can see here, we don't give you the name of the company. So you cannot research about the company. So apply based on the information you have. And this is pretty cool because it's brand new. We are saying the location, full remote or not, salary, annual, the skills you have. But now we have a bit more information on other positions, recent jobs. And here you can have more what the company expected. Will be considered a bonus. Well, this one is not a good example because we have even some new information. Let's see, it's so new, maybe it's not even implemented yet. A bit more information about the start remote, like we spoke, not disclosure, Victoria. Here. So benefits, moving support, flight for the family, temporary housing, those are the benefits that this company offers. But as you can see, this one, they don't. So we are trying to give more information, but name of the company, that's not our intention. Um, but you will have a lot of information after you get the job. So if you apply here and you receive a message from the recruiter, you're going to have a lot of information about the company, even inside information from the recruiter. Are the post position long-term jobs or more short-term? I guess all are long-term. It happened once where that I can remember that the position was long-term, but they liked that candidate so much that they made into a temporary position so they could work things out with, I don't remember what, before they can actually hire full-time for that location. I guess it was a logistical situation, but I think all of the positions are full time. Full time, it's different than short term. So full time is the amount of hours you work. They can be full time and part time. I think most of the positions are full time, and I think all the positions are long term jobs, which means that you don't have an end date. In short term would be having an end date. This case, it was like a contract of, I think, 3 months, but it was the other way around. The company adjusted to the candidate. I don't remember if we had temporary jobs. Any more questions? We are over 10 minutes here, but if you do have questions, I don't mind staying a little longer. Do companies pay the same amount when working a remote in the pandemic? Very great question. No, it's not exactly about the pandemic. It's a result because of the pandemic, where companies are taking advantage of being able to hire abroad to decrease cost. But let's go to find a job again. And that can mean that when you select only remote, fully remote, they're going to consider the salary of your country and the country the company is located to give you a range. So in my suggestion is, if you are looking for only remote positions, keep in mind that your salary by below than the location of the company. But that doesn't mean they all are doing. I saw a job post the other day that it's like $130,000 a year, which is like a very high salary even in Canada. So it's not a 100. It depends on the company. Any job requirements requires French speaking skills. Some, especially the ones from the province of Quebec, um, but even the Quebecois companies, they accept people with only English. But that's a differentiation from you to other people, because they want, especially if you want to relocate, they want you to adjust well in Canada. So having French, let's say the only difference is you have basic grocery French skills and the other person has zero, it might be the only simple differentiation. Um, but that's the reason we don't even test English for Spanish, for French. All you have to do is self evaluate your level. Should I do a technical assessment with the company, or the VanHack technical certifications are enough? It depends on the company. Some companies, they look the code challenge that we gave them, and for them that it's enough. But some of them think that it's very easy, so they actually send another one. We try to do a code challenge where it has only advanced and intermediate questions, consider our provider information, that can last around 3 to 5, 6 hours, but we still give you 24 hours. But because there are so many hidden tasks, sometimes they want to know even more. They have open tasks and hidden tasks, and most people are forgetting to consider the hidden tasks based on the instructions from the challenge. So I guess that is another point to bring it up. Read the full description of the code. I highly recommend you to come to Code Challenge. Click here on how does it work and read it all. You only have to read it once if you read very well, and you minimize the chances of going bad. So here is the part for the hidden test that a lot of people forget to read. It's how we score, and that can damage your grade for nothing because you just assume that it was enough. Here are more questions. And for English verification, the same idea. You can start, you can do it all. You have many questions at the bottom. You can understand the level, so you can understand exactly what intermediate means, what advanced means. And on top of that, if you started, you're gonna be able to see even more instructions here. So for those of you who haven't done yet, here's a good resource too. A lot of instructions for all the questions. But I think after today, you are more than prepared to take it on. All right. Let me see the rest of the questions. I hope they will inform developers if HR interview or technical. Sometimes they start technical interview. Yes, we inform. We will let you know if it's technical, if it's more specific. We are going to let you know who are the people on the company that will be in the meeting, because we want you to study the company, the people, the skills, and everything else. So by the time you have a time slot for your interview, you're gonna receive a ton of messages, a big package for studying interview questions. Yeah, you're gonna be fully prepared. It's more about having the time to go through it all. Well, everyone, thank you very much for today. It was very nice. You had like pretty amazing questions. This was one of the most high level webinars that I have done so far. It was not like I'm a developer with 5 years of experience and I need a job today. So great job, very great questions. I'm gonna even change the YouTube recording for this one because you all had great questions. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Happy to have, glad to help. And remember, we still have a Let's Connect now, the fourth Tuesday. So next week, we have a webinar with Ilya. And the week following, we have a Let's Connect, which will be every month a specific topic. And we're going to change every time. So the way you guys are engaged, for sure you will take advantage. Bye-bye, everyone.